Talk about one of the godfathers of metal drumming. Lord of the Rings, then he would be Gandalf. Variation where he switches from playing with the right hand on the hi-hat to the snare. And don't forget about the Lord of the Rings metaphor. If Flo Monnier is Gandalf in that story, who's Martin? Drumming community. Today we're gonna talk about one of the godfathers of metal drumming. Yes, we're gonna talk about the one and only Flo Monnier of Cryptopsy. In this picture right here, you can see from left to right, Eugene Rabchenko, myself, Ken Pideni, Kevin Paradis, and the one and only Flo Monnier. Flo Monnier was a big influence on every drummer on that picture, maybe even himself. If you compare this picture to the Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings, then he would be Gandalf, and I would be, I don't know. So you can comment below the character that you think fits best for me, and don't write Smeargol, okay? Alright, so let's start watching some Flo Monnier in action. Yes, yes. Okay, I have to stop already. Alrighty, so this is the quintessence of Cryptopsy, their success formula. And this hasn't changed from the first record to now. In Cryptopsy, they are able to compare complete chaos, like you heard it in the beginning, like there's so much stuff happening. If you hear it for the first time, actually you don't really know what's happening because there's so much stuff happening. And right after that, it leads into this forward driving aggressive part. So it leads from chaos to aggression and then at one point back to chaos again. So let's listen to the intro part again. Chaos, and now. By the way, right behind Flo, sitting there, is Rafał. That's the mastermind of Drummers from Hell. Show his channel some love because this video is from his YouTube channel. I love the vocals. Yes, I really do. Let's listen to that fill again. One thing that's really interesting about Flo's drumming is that he's orchestrating his drum fills in a really interesting way. So let's listen to this fill again in slow motion. So this basic fill in slow motion looks like this. Most metal drummers, including myself, would just orchestrate this fill on snare and toms. But in his case, he likes to incorporate the hi-hat pretty often in drum fills, like in this one. One other variation that you can see quite often is when he's playing a mid-tempo blast beat like this. He also likes to switch, basically a single stroke roll between right and left hand. He likes to switch from the hi-hat to the snare with the right hand, from the snare to the hi-hat, with the hi-hat offbeat on the left hand. So really interesting orchestration right there. Alrighty, let's continue. Axis A longboards. Pearl Demon Drive beaters. Right here you can see that he's struggling a bit with the double bass part. Maybe he's not warmed up yet. You can see that especially with the left foot he's losing touch with the footboard. Both his feet are sliding back. And now you're gonna see the genius of Flo Monnier, okay? Maybe he's not warmed up yet, happens to everyone, and now he just switches technique pretty effortlessly. He just switched to heel toe. And the really interesting stuff is that, of course, this was not planned to switch from regular single strokes to doubles. Maybe he was not ready yet, warmed up, or whatever. We will never know. That just tells you how advanced this guy is. Just switching from singles to heel toe like it was nothing. Let's listen to it again and listen closely to the kick drum, because the cool part is, without the video, I personally, and I think you wouldn't be either, be able to hear the difference between his single stroke kicks and the heel toe kicks. Of course, the kick drum is triggered, no dynamics there, but still the notes are lined up perfectly. Let's listen to that one again. First a single stroke double bass. No difference. I didn't hear a difference between the singles and the doubles. So awesome drumming from Flo. And I love the vocals. Don't care what anyone else says. Guy's awesome. Yes, skank beater. Beater pushed against the bass drum head, starting and stopping position. Yeah. Let's talk about that sticking right there. Let's listen to that one fill again. Yeah, that's the one. So the basic rudiment behind this fill is a flam accent. Bit faster. So you can see and hear this rudiment in Cryptopsy quite often, and also in other bands like Spencer from Archspire uses this one quite often. So let's talk about this sticking, this rudiment on the practice pad setup. Yes, got my green smoothie. I wanna stay healthy, right? Alrighty, so let's talk about this basic sticking or rudiment, the flam accent. So this rudiment is based on triplets, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, 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 left. So in the beginning you got the flam with your left and the accent with your right, left, right, left. And right here you got another accent with the left and the flam played with the right hand. So combined sounds like this. So if you want to practice that and if you want to play it like Flo Monnier in this example, you have to play this flam as a flat flam. So you don't hit one after another like this, but you hit them at the same time. The flat flam sounds like this. And then final ingredient, double kick. So every time you hit the pad, you also play with your feet. So the difficult part about this rudiment, especially if you play it as flat flams, is that you want to hit at the exact same time with right hand, left hand and the kick. Once you got the basic sticking down, you just increase the tempo. One final thing that I would like to add is that in this example, Flo played it in a 3/4 feeling, so he didn't play it in a triplet subdivision, but in a 16-note subdivision. So if the tempo was like this, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, he didn't play it as triplets, but he played a bit faster in a 16-note subdivision. Sounds like the same sticking. Cool thing about this rudiment or sticking or this little trick right here is that you get a lot of mileage out of it. You can use this on cymbals, on toms, you can play it in a 3/4 feeling and so on. Alrighty, let's head back to the drum kit. Again, there are endless possibilities with that sticking. You can orchestrate it on the cymbals, for example. The cool thing about that rudiment is once you got that basic sticking down, there are just 2 other variations which open up endless possibilities. Right now I'm talking about that fast blasting stuff that you hear with Archspire, for example, or quite often with Cryptopsy as well. If you want to learn more about these 3 simple combinations and how to first practice them and how to apply them to the drum kit, then make sure to check out the full lesson at the Drum Technique Academy membership zone. Just sign up at drumtechniqueacademy.net. Okie dokie, let's continue. I love the vocals. I know. Some of you hate him, but I love those vocals. He's amazing. Again, this fill. Right there you could see this traditional blast beat variation where he switches from playing with the right hand on the hi-hat to the snare and left hand from the snare to the hi-hat. Let's watch that one again real quick. Yeah. This blast beat variation is also really interesting. I'm talking about this one. Basically, triplet subdivision. First, the hands play together in unison, followed by kick, kick, right, left. Hands, left, hands, right, left. If you have a hard time filling in those gaps between the hands with your feet so that you get this triplet subdivision as end result, one thing that I really like to do is I start with a regular bomb blast, which goes something like this. So basically you're playing, your hands and your right foot are playing in unison, and then you fill in the gaps with your left foot. Once you got that down and it's tight, then just try to delay the right foot a little bit so the right foot hits right after your hands. Once it's tight, it sounds super fast and crazy, but again, not that easy to play that one tight. Alrighty, let's continue. Again, the variation, blast, traditional blast beat, switching from hi-hat to snare. Again, this blast beat variation, and now a hyper blast. Actually, that was not a hyper blast, it was a regular hammer blast.
Make some fucking noise!
Again, single strokes, interesting orchestration. Awesome! Flo Monnier, thank you so much for the years of inspiration. I still remember watching his first DVD, this was more than 10 or 15 years ago, his DVD on double bass and hand technique. So if you haven't got that one, go check it out. Cheers to Flo Monnier and thank you so much. Alrighty, drumming community, make sure to check out the full lesson with those free sticking combinations at the Drum Technique Academy membership zone. You can find the link below, drumtechniqueacademy.net. Don't forget about the Lord of the Rings metaphor. If Flo Monnier is Gandalf in that story, who's Martin? And by the way, who's Eugene? Which character is Eugene in that one? Alrighty, drumming community, that's it for today's video. I'm gonna see you soon. Take care. Cheers from Vienna. Bye bye.